Wednesday. Hello, good morning to Facebook on Sunrise Extra on your Wednesday today. How are you doing, Drew?
This show is also known as the show where that woman holds that stick in her hand the whole time.
I hold the stick. I know. Aren't you guys used to it by now? This is Instagram on the phone. It's how they make us do it. You got to do it on the phone. Good morning, everyone. This is our streaming after show where we kind of go more in depth on the big stories of the day. The biggest story is that police officer that was shot down in Salem. That officer is doing okay, already released from the hospital, but they've got to find this person who did that. So we're going to have the latest on the news at noon there. Also making news in Vancouver, school bus drivers really concerned about their safety on the bus after a woman went and talked to the school board last night saying that there was an incident recently on the bus she's driven for 10 years where a girl threw a big water bottle, one of these things that can really do some damage, and the bus driver stopped the bus, got back there, confiscated the water bottle. The student did not like that and came up and allegedly choked and hit and attacked the bus driver. And so we're kind of talking about what's been your experience? I mean, you have kids. You said they're going to take the bus next year.
They're not looking forward to it. They're already asking, can we get a ride to school?
Why? I mean, why is that?
I think because what the stories they hear is just like, you know, basically all hell's breaking loose on the bus.
So they know it too.
Yes. You know, I remember the bus was like sort of an area. I remember when I was in school, like I wasn't really ever bullied. But if I ever was going to be bullied, I always thought the bus was going to be where it was at. Like I was on guard on the bus because
there's only one person in the front. They're driving and
trying
they can't
to do
really
so
like
much.
help you out.
Yeah.
There's a flaw from the moment you step on the bus, right? You know things are not going to go well when you sit down the bus and there's no seatbelts, right? I mean, right off the bat, why are there no seatbelts on a bus? Maybe if we had two things. One, it'd be safer, and maybe if they were strapped in, these kids would be less inclined to do some crazy things like they're doing on the school buses.
Haven't there been studies or something where it's actually like not as safe?
Well, I'm going to start buckling them in just so they stay in their seats and they're not hitting and hurting other kids.
All I know is I have so much respect to bus drivers for what they have to do. I mean, they're in charge of keeping a whole bus load of kids safe and so much to concentrate on, and then you get rowdy kids in the mix. So, man, hats off to all you drivers.
Welcome, Kristen Severance, this morning. How are you? You're weighing in on this topic with us.
Yes, I wanted to jump in on that. So when I did all of those classrooms and crisis stories,
this is all linked.
We heard from bus drivers. I've heard from a lot of bus drivers in Washington and in Oregon saying, yes, all of those classroom disruptions that you keep hearing about from teachers, the biting, the hitting, the throwing things, it's happening to us too. It's happening to us too, and we're on these, you know, imagine driving.
Can you imagine
having to do
that?
Space, there's only one person and they need to keep their eyes on the road.
Yes, so I'm so glad that she talked to the school board. It also goes back to all these school districts saying, look, when we try to address this problem, we need everyone in. We need the school bus drivers in on how we're addressing it. We need the, custodians. We need secretaries, everyone. So I would like to talk to additional drivers and really get into what they're dealing with.
So where can they contact you? If anybody watching knows a bus driver who would like to share a story?
Yes. Call Kristen at kgw.com is the best way. Email, it's the best way to reach our team. Thank you.
I was happy to hear for this driver's sake, because she wasn't just one person making this claim about the situation, because she said this attack that she says happened to her on the bus is not the first time she's been attacked, but she had fellow school bus drivers supporting her there last night as she brought this up at the meeting. So it was kind of cool to see the school bus drivers rallying together, sort of banding together, because they all recognize that there is an issue on the school bus.
And are there no aides? Did we find out, or maybe I guess it probably varies from
she was
district.
That's what she's asking the district.
They want somebody.
They want like a school bus monitor or somebody else to be on there with them.
To me, that's totally
reasonable. Because, like you were saying, I mean, there's kids are having outbursts in class. It's obviously going to continue on the bus when there's no adult supervision. You're out of school. You've got candy, or and hyper,
I mean, these teachers, the teachers we've interviewed, they don't have aides in the classroom, so I would be shocked if there are aides on the bus. I mean, we've done so many stories on this. Last week, the hour-long special. This is happening all over Oregon, and it's happening on the buses.
Yeah. Right.
I think these Sunrise Extra programs work best when our viewers are able to chime in.
Yeah.
So we can ask you a question point blank, and I know we're going to get to the story you covered this morning, Kristen, on our Sunrise show. But if we're sticking with this topic, and even if we move on, you can still weigh in. Like, share a story with us.
Yeah, let's share. We have some comments right here
bus
to share.
ride experience either you've had or your child has had, and Nina does have a few to share with us right now.
Yeah. So Terry says any bus driver needs to feel safe when transporting children. Of course, Janelle, things like this didn't happen when my boys were going to school in Vancouver. What has changed? Discipline, she says, something these kids are lacking. I wonder, you know, like if you hear about every story that happens on the bus, I mean, it happened when I was a kid.
Yeah,
Jessica,
social media just wasn't around to share it probably.
Right. Jessica, don't hold your breath. Paramedics can't even get a safe work environment. She must speak from experience. Do we have any more comments? Evan, none of this is unique to Vancouver. Of course, it's the same in Portland. It's the same everywhere. Yeah, no kidding. Jeff on Instagram. Hi, Jeff. Good morning. Thanks for tuning in. He says there's no money to hire monitors. And that's what Vancouver schools say, that they're going to talk to us about this. And I think that's what they're going to address is budget deficits. I mean, this is all tied together with your classrooms in crisis. Right. It's tied together with the education bill that got passed here in Oregon. Of you know, all this money now going to schools, and what can we do to stop these disruptions? So weigh in with us. What do you guys think? Do your kids now have any issues on the bus? Do you remember having these kinds of issues when you were a kid? Avatar on Instagram saying it's the same everywhere. Yeah. Kristen, we're also talking about CBD products. This is fascinating to me. I've done so many stories here on marijuana in Oregon, and you shocked me by, you guys tested a bunch of products.
Yeah, so yes, a lot of people are doing the whole CBD testing story, but because this is such a unique market in Portland, you can get CBD donuts, there's CBD sausage, CBD water, CBD lattes.
And these are at random stores, it's not at like pot shops.
Right, these are everywhere. So these are not the OLCC stores.
Okay.
All of the products in the dispensaries, in the OLCC regulated stores, they are all tested. So you know that CBD on the label is what is in the product.
If you're going to the dispensary.
You're going to the dispensary. But if you're out buying a CBD water from a grocery store, or a CBD donut, or a CBD sausage, you don't know. You don't know what's in it. So we all said—
They're expensive.
They are. They're pricey. And we all said, okay, how is the CBD really in that CBD beer? So we worked with this nationally accredited lab in Portland, Greenleaf Lab, and we went around and bought all of these products. We bought the tinctures, we bought the lotions, we bought the gummies, which I wanted to point out the price.
Show us some of these. I'm going to come around and show.
So we did not test this gummy, but I just for prices. Okay,
so these are regular.
These are regular gummies. I got these for 99 cents.
Okay. Nice.
These gummies, $28.
Can I flip it this way for them too to see?
$28.
$28.
So
like
regular,
less than half.
99, 28.
Wow.
And you can get both products at like CVS or Rite Aid or.
Okay. CVS and Rite Aid, they got into the CBD game. Okay, they're selling bombs and tinctures. These gummies we got an actual CBD store. So a CBD store is not regulated by the OLCC. And that's where we bought our pet treats, our gummies, our, we got a latte at a cafe.
It doesn't have THC, the active ingredient that can get you high. So CBD isn't regulated like it is by the OLCC because it doesn't have the psychoactive effect.
And it's this brand new industry that a lot of states are still really
like trying to catch up on.
Yes.
Yeah. So what did you find? Can you share that with us?
Yes, of course. So the CBD beer did not have CBD in the beer.
At all?
No. There were trace amounts on the can.
So they were trying.
What?
They were trying, but it had zero.
It had zero. And so I talked to the company. It's a local company. They were so upset. They said, oh, I cannot believe you tested that actual batch. They said that batch that they said that they had tried this brand new suspension process and they got the same results we did.
They still sell it, marketing it as CBD.
They pulled it from the shelves. Yeah, they said they pulled it from the shelves once they got those results, and they are no longer selling it.
You just happened to grab the one from the.
So they had the results before you pointed it out to them?
They said they received the same results as us, and when they did, they pulled it.
Got it.
When they did, they pulled it. Yeah.
Okay. The water.
All right, water. The CBD water. No CBD.
Zero. What does it say it should have?
Oh, well, this is very interesting. So the label says it has 10 million nanograms of CBD.
Nanograms.
Oh,
what does that mean?
Oh, that.
10 milligrams?
Exactly.
Calculator.
10 milligrams, but it actually has.
It had zero. So the one we tested was larger, and it said it had 5 million nanograms and had zero. And they've never
So you're
called
just
me.
drinking water, and it's a placebo effect of like,
You're
ooh,
just
I
drinking
feel
water.
better.
It was $7, no CBD.
Can you start
$7.
outing the stores that are selling all these products?
But
It's not
So-
the store's fault, but I mean, yeah, these guys should be testing their
Well,
own
yeah,
stuff.
Right,
but the store
exactly.
should be
There's
held
no
liable
regulation
too.
making them do it.
can you imagine though?
I don't
You got to
know.
put
That's
yourself in the
fraud.
maker's shoes here, Kristen. Imagine if you made a CBD water. How could you possibly put on the label 0 grams of CBD? That just wouldn't make any sense. That is ridiculous. I can't. None.
Yeah,
Zero.
none. What
It's tap
else?
water.
Well,
$7.
it's something,
Oh, I'd be
but
so
it's
mad.
not CBD.
Yeah.
All right, what else did we test? The
I want to know about the
donut.
sausage, because that's the one that is the weird one
That's
to me.
so
Like,
random.
what?
All right, CBD sausage did not have any CBD in it.
Where did you get sausage, first of all? That's what I want to know.
So the CBD sausage, I got it from New Seasons, but here's their thing. They're saying, look, we don't market it. We don't put the milligrams on there. We just say that it's infused with CBD beer, and they're like
Is it
alcohol.
that same beer
Oh,
that
that's
you
the problem.
tested? Yeah. It's the same
It really
beer
is.
that had 0. So
The
there's
same
gonna be
company.
0
I'm
in-
sorry,
same
all
company.
of these stores are like scamming people. If you carry a
not the
product and
store's
you know,
fault.
it is their fault. It's the maker.
not the store's fault.
It's
It's the
everybody's fault involved. If you're making a profit, they should all be accountable. That's my thought. I'm sorry. You carry products that you know are not accurate. You're part of the problem.
You ever walk, you walk into a grocery store, my goodness, I don't even know how many products there are in there, a million? I'm just saying, so they deal with all these
Yeah, you're just putting it
makers,
in an order.
and you start a
don't
relationship,
know.
you start to trust people, and they say, hey, this week we got this item. Great, what's in it? Fantastic, thanks. We've done business with you before. We know you're legit.
Yeah, but once you know it's
so
not.
Safeway is not going to take every product on their shelf and send it
I
into
don't
a lab
know.
to be tested.
I think if they know that
the
it's a
product's
complete sham.
responsibility, the makers.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jay. If you know it's a sham and you continue to sell it knowing that it is not whatsoever as advertised, at some point somebody has to be accountable.
don't think-
Start
Which is
making
why
changes.
we do these stories. This is why we do these stories. Okay, we also tested the CBD donut.
Thank you, Kristen.
CBD donut. It had 10 milligrams, which is what it was advertised.
Oh,
That's
good. Who made
good.
that?
Blue Star.
Blue Star, we love you. Blue Star's
What else did I test? The donut, pet treats.
great. Okay,
pet
that's a
treats.
really common.
Everybody is buying CBD pet treats for their pet. You can't ask your pet, much to your point, you cannot ask your pet, hey,
feel
does this
better?
work?
Right, yeah.
But everyone thinks in their head, oh my gosh, my pet is feeling great. This product promised 50 milligrams of CBD in the treat. It was 50, we found 50% less than that.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
The gummies, we did not test these gummies, we tested another brand of gummies, 80% less
Than it said on the
than it said, yes.
So the rule is, I mean, if you want CBD products, which they say, I mean, it's kind of like taking a couple Advil, depending on the dosage, but it can, would do whatever. It's not FDA,
Yes. People
tested
have
claims.
very,
But go to the dispensary
Right.
and get it.
If you want a CBD product that you know is tested, you have to go to the dispensary. All of these other products, I'm not saying the companies didn't test them, but you saw what happened when we do a
Right.
blind test. Some of them have no CBD in them. But Ashley, you bring up a good point, and we are going to reach out to some of these stores and tell them what we found, because I personally would not want to be carrying something.
Right. You
Yes.
shouldn't. If you know that it has nothing in it and you're going to continue to sell a product, I'm sorry, but you're
I didn't
part
think
of the
that happened.
equation.
I don't
I didn't
think
think
they
the
know.
store was carrying a product they knew was faulty.
Yeah.
Right,
In this case.
exactly,
Well-
exactly. They did not. And we
Yes.
will tell some of the stores what
But
we
now
found.
they do.
now I
Yes.
expect them to be off the
now
shelf.
that's off
Yes,
the shelf.
yeah.
I would think that they would pull off
That's
now.
the point I'm making. If you know that a product is
Yes.
a scam, get it out of there.
Yeah. Jeff on Instagram wants to know, Kristen, where is the list of items you tested so they can check it out?
Yes, go to kgw.com. Right now, it's right on the homepage. It says how much CBD is really in that CBD water, donut,
Right.
beer. This was such a fun story to do. And we also tested lotions and tinctures. So a lot of people do use this stuff.
Those are really popular.
Yes, everybody has very passionate opinions about CBD, I have to say. Wait till you see some of these comments.
Like against using it at all?
No, they're
or-
very, very,
pro.
yes, pro.
using it. I
yes.
gotcha.
Do
So
we still have that viewer voice poll available? I don't know if we can bring that up sometimes. We're able to do that on the
yeah.
Center Ice Show, because we did ask that question this morning, point
Do
blank.
you use it?
Yeah, do you use CBD products, generally speaking? How many of our
Ooh,
viewers are using?
50-50.
There
And
we
it is
go.
right down the middle this morning. 50-50, because early on when the votes were just starting to come in, it looked lopsided.
It
There
was
like
way-
70-30 in favor of no.
Right.
But now it is evened out, and I'm sure that the numbers will shift a little bit as we continue to keep this poll up. So I had a question based on this for you, Kristen Severance.
Yes.
You joined us from Dallas, not Oregon, Dallas, Texas, a few months back. And I feel like we're talking about CBD-related stories all the time in our newscasts.
Yeah.
And I am one of those on the no side. Like, I don't think we have a single CBD product in our house, but I'm hearing it all the time. Did you see this many CBD-related stories when you were in Dallas?
So it was so different. That is such a good question. It is two different worlds. Imagine the complete opposite of Oregon. That's Texas, okay?
I believe in Texas for about 15 months.
Okay, so it is so different. Marijuana is legal here, okay? So the CBD market, all of these companies have been doing these, THC marijuana products for years. So now they're all transitioning into CBD. The market is so much different here. The OLCC tests these CBD products in the dispensaries. Texas, in my old market, you will get, I've seen news stories on this, you will get arrested if you have CBD. The TSA, still. Wow. The TSA, as of last month, was confiscating CBD products out of luggage in DFW and charging people. Yeah. So it's a completely different animal, yes, in Texas. Here, I mean, go to a cafe. I love our web story. I worked with our producer, Mila, on this story. In Portland, you could wake up, go have a CBD latte, have a CBD donut, go have a beer at a CBD beer at happy hour, $7 CBD water. I mean, it is everywhere. So it's such a good story to do here.
And you might have zero CBD in your system.
What is the most popular, do you know, like product? Is it more the lotions, that sort of thing?
I would say the tinctures. And this was interesting too. Talking to the lab, the Portland lab, they were great. He doesn't believe that these companies are doing this maliciously. He believes it's much easier to make a CBD tincture because they, work with tons of
tincture, what? Give us
a little.
It's
just a droplet.
I literally
it's an
thought
oil.
you were saying T-shirt, and I thought that I was like, okay, I guess that's what they're doing now. They're putting T-shirts on, and somehow by wearing
tincture. Sorry, tincture. It's
they're
oil.
putting oil into what? Like on their skin, onto?
No, it's a dropper.
Okay.
So you could put it under your tongue, in your coffee.
I'm following now.
Yes, water. You could put it anywhere you want, but the most popular form of CBD is this tincture, which is a droplet, and you just put it you just take it.
That's probably the most concentrated way to get it, as opposed to eating a donut, I would think.
Exactly, and the lab said it's much easier to make a tincture or a balm or a lotion than it is to infuse all of these products with CBD. I mean, you have to be really specific. You can't just, imagine somebody making a chocolate bar. You can't just have a dropper and put CBD. I mean, this is a complicated, complex process.
There's a lot of science behind it.
We're still trying to figure out how to do it right, then, it sounds like.
Yeah. Many companies are.
And I thought the same thing when you brought it up, not doing it maliciously. I figured from the get-go, this beer maker, for instance, is not out there going, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put CBD on the label and not even think about putting CBD in it. I'm sure they're trying and just not succeeding. Well, they're blowing the process.
I mean, at least with that batch. So because it is so difficult, they were testing out a suspension process. So yes, you put the CBD in the beer and it was there, but the suspension process didn't work.
And then it dissipated over time, or
it just doesn't stay. It just doesn't stay. It's very, very difficult to infuse CBD in a liquid, and it did not stay in the liquid. So they ditched that process. They went back to the old way they were doing it, and they're not selling that batch. But it's tough, and it was a fun
interesting. So you'll have a lot more tonight at 6?
Yes, we'll have more tonight at 6. We also tested those lotion. Now I don't want to say tincture if it sounds like T-shirt.
No. We're just saying.
I am curious. Do
oils.
You think I have a product idea here? Do you think there could be someday a CBD T-shirt or tank top?
That just says the words?
No, like that you wear and then absorb the properties thereof.
Oh, boy.
Nothing would surprise me.
Just ignore him, Kristen.
We do want to, Tanya, I see you wrote a comment.
They're rapping
the music.
I know, but she was wondering about, I think she's over on the coast, wondering about that threat at Seaside High School.
Geez, yep.
Those 2 male students have been arrested. The school says there is no threat anymore. All it is they're going to have extra police officers on campus today to make the kids feel safe.
As a precaution.
As a precaution, yeah. So I think you can find that story on our Facebook page. She was looking for it on kgw.com. But thank you guys so much for joining in and chatting with us and Kristen. And yeah, we're here every morning at 7 a.m.
Bye.